Numbers 14. Jeremy, did you tell him we just sent it to him?
Oh. Jeremy? We just emailed you the sermon or the lesson.
The notes.
The notes.
Okay.
So all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron. The whole congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt. Or if only we had died in this wilderness.
And why is the Lord bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become plunder. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? So they said to one another, let us appoint a leader and return to Egypt.
Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. But Joshua, the son of Nun, Caleb, the son of Jephthah, who were among those who had spied out the land, tore their clothes, and they spoke to all the congregation of the children of Israel, saying, the land we spied through, the land we passed through to spy out is exceedingly good land. 8.
If the Lord is pleased with us, then he will bring us into this land, and give it to us, a land which flows with milk and honey. Only do not rebel against the Lord, and do not fear the people of the land, for they will be our prey. Their protection has been removed from them, and the Lord is with us. Do not fear them. 10.
But all the congregation said to stone them with stones. Then the glory of the Lord appeared in the tent of meeting to all the sons of Israel. The Lord said to Moses, how long will this people spurn me? And how long will they not believe in me, despite all the signs which I have performed in their midst? Well,
I will strike them with the pestilence and disinherit them, and I will make of them a nation greater and mightier than they. And Moses said to the Lord, then the Egyptians will hear it, for by your might you brought these people up from among them, and they will tell it to the inheritance of this land.
Inhabitants.
Oh, the inhabitants, I'm sorry, the inhabitants of this land. They have heard that you, Lord, are among these people, that you, Lord, are seen face to face, and your cloud stands above them, and you go before them in a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night.
15.
Now if you kill these people as one man, then the nations which have heard of your name, of your fame, will speak, saying, because the Lord was not able to bring this people to the land which he swore to give to them, therefore he killed them in the wilderness. And now I pray, let the power of my Lord be great, just as you have spoken, saying, 18.
The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation.
Pardon, I pray, the iniquity of this people according to the greatness of your loving kindness, just as you also have forgiven this people from Egypt even until now. So the Lord said, I have pardoned them according to your word. But indeed, as I live, all the earth will be filled with the glory of the Lord.
Let's stop right there. I mean, this is some powerful stuff now. We have it on.
Yeah.
You getting back to 1, the congregation does what? 14:1.
Lift it up up their voice and cried. People wept.
And the people wept. Why are the people weeping? Why are the people weeping?
Fear,
Uh,
fear of what the others have said.
Heard what someone said, and that's something. So that it's amazing how something so negative can become so, I don't even know what you want to call it, but the idea of something so negative has become so believable. Something so negative has become so believable. There are how many people that disagree? Two. Do you see what's going on? A lot of times, what do we go after? A lot of times, what do we follow?
Majority.
You got it? Majority. So a lot of times we follow majority, and you figure those that are minority, nope, I don't want to have anything to do with them. When it's your minority, there may be that which is guiding you the right way. So here they've got the majority that have said or made the confession that they're too big. You saw that in what? If you go back, you saw that in, really go back up to 1333. Says what? I mean, 12. 1332 is what I'm trying to say. 1332 says what?
And they gave the children of Israel a bad report of the land in which they had spied out, saying, the land through which we have gone and spied is the land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people whom we saw in it are men of great stature.
Keep going.
There we saw giants, the descendants of Anak came from the giants, and we were like grasshoppers in our own sight, and so we were in their sight.
So in their sight, they were what?
Grasshoppers.
Small.
And so in the people's sight, they were what?
Small.
Small. So they looked at the statute, right, of a man and said, oh my goodness, this is a huge man. I said, all I do is I look at Jock, I look at myself, we would be considered huge men. See what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, they can just, boom, and you would go away, right? You know what I'm saying? Boom. When some of them, watch this, when a lot of times we fail to understand the larger man is a lot of times the what?
Nicest man.
The nicest man. It sure is. Because they have nothing to, I mean, what do I need to show you? There's nothing. There's no intimidation. They don't have anything. It's the small man. We call it the Napoleon. You know what I'm saying? We call it the Napoleon complex. That they've got so much that they're trying to prove. They've got to, I said, I watch people in particular, and I'm not saying this is everywhere, but have you noticed a lot of times, and it's funny to me, but I see it when it's a lot of times, who buys these big trucks? The Hispanics. And then when they get out in them big old rigs, they, and you like, oh my God, you know, but they buy these huge monster trucks, and you say, why? And you can probably burn touch the gas pedal. So why don't you buy something? Huh?
Look, pedals come up.
Yeah, so listen to what you're saying. So I buy these because I've got an ego problem. And my ego problem is I've got to be, you know, I didn't get that size that I wanted, so I got to be big. Found to understand bigness doesn't make you better. Big. You just, this is something that was inherited. It ain't got nothing to do with you trying to grow big. It was just something that was inherited. So here's the issue. You've got the anglers, right, that are turned around, and as far as they're concerned, they see what? They're huge. We call them the who? There's another one, that the who? Neptilians. That's what we call them, right? So we've got the Neptilians that are running around. And so this is what they were called in Genesis, the 6th chapter. This is what they were called. And so they were big men, huge men. And so Here they are, said, they've come back, 10 have come back and reported. And guys, look at the text again in 14:1 before we go any further. Look at it again. 14:1 says what?
Then all the congregation.
And then said what? Then
all.
all. Catch it? All. Now read.
The congregation.
The congregation. Did you hear that? All the congregation. All the congregation did what?
Lifted up.
Lifted their voices and did what?
Right.
And cried. Can you imagine? He didn't say some, he says all. Let's go with all. Who are the alls we're talking about?
Men, women, children.
Yeah, but out of the all, the numbers would range from what?
4 million.
Millions. 4 to 6 million people. Can you imagine hearing 4 to 6 million people cry? So then watch this. Pull your paper and you read. Read.
There was the fatal response of the people. They grumbled, doubted, and feared. They failed to believe God and rebelled against him. The negative, unbelieving, and defeatist report of the 10 spies spread among the people like wildfire on a rampage, consuming everything in its path. What happened then was the fatal climax to a whole generation of people.
Hey, can you imagine this? Stop and think about it. Just fathom this. You have come out of misery. Stop and think about it. Just fathom this. You witnessed what God did for you. And you, watch this, and you got, out of the 12 that were appointed, you got 10 that come back. Remember, these 10 are older men, right?
Yeah.
Watch, are these 10 older men? Are these 12, are these older men?
Most likely they're
They're
leaders.
not, but they're leaders. But they're leaders. Remember, he told us select from them. And who would they select?
Strong,
Huh?
strong.
Right. Think about it, the strong. So you selecting the strong. And watch this. In your selecting of the strong, what would you search for? What you would consider strong? I don't think it's this that you would consider strong. But what would you consider strong? Because you're right, strong leaders.
Heart and mindset.
You said that mindset. So you would have somebody that would have the mindset, but would also have the what? They're to go inspire on the land. So they would have what?
Courage.
Right, the courage, the energy. So they're going to go over there to look this over with. So you got some men, they're not old men. You got men that are, watch this, that are of age, they're seasoned, but they're to go over there because in their selection, they're supposed to have the wisdom. They're supposed to have the wisdom. And so when they come back, they're supposed to apply the wisdom. I've made the statement a lot of times, people get old and you figure, well, because they got old or gray hair in their heads, then, you know, this has got to be, and they say a few things. And they say a few things and you say, wow, this is a wise person. But yet in reality, what did you run into? A lot of times, I'm serious, and as you talk to him more and more, you find out he's a what? You see what I'm saying? Old fool is what you find out. I know I was waiting on y'all to say it. So you find out he's really an old fool. All he did was got old. That's all he did. So his hair became, well, when you get older, your hair starts to change. It starts to gray. Well, some of them.
You know, I mean,
Some of us, okay. But the bottom line is, in this process of this taking its course, now you've got these men that have went over, these men, remember, they're prominent leaders. Remember, they ain't just anybody, they're leaders. So when
you be mature.
that's what I'm talking about.
Because that's what it is, because anybody can't just do that job.
Come on.
You gotta have somebody that has a little wit,
There
a
it is.
little know-how,
There it is.
and that usually come in the form of maturity.
There it is.
And with maturity comes the wisdom, you know?
Brother? How you doing?
Fine, sir.
No, you want to come over here?
Thank you.
Brother. Hey, brother. Hey, brother.
You want to strip or something?
But anyway, so like you said, it's a maturity. So if this is the case, and what I'm doing is painting the picture to get you to see these are those that came back. These are those that are supposedly matured. It's such an impact of their maturity, or supposedly maturity, that it's got a congregation that's believing. You hear me? You got a man that's leading, but he ain't living a life right, but he's preaching. Did you hear me? But he's preaching, and not only is he preaching, but you see him and you say, well, he's an older man. Surely he wouldn't do anything foolish. And he's doing everything foolish. You hear me? He's doing you don't talk about that, he's doing everything stupid. And you can, it's hard to digest, and if someone was to bring something to your attention concerning that old man and concerning his ministry, what would you do? You deny it, you fight. You say no, he wouldn't do that. He just wouldn't do that. Well, here they have come, and so they've given the report, and they've given such a devastating report that it's got the whole congregation toe up from the floor up. If you really stop to think about it, toe up from the floor up. So then watch this, the grumbling. See it, Gina, the grumbling unbelief.
The grumbling unbelief of the people is emphasized. All the people, all the Israelites, the whole assembly, every adult was grumbling in unbelief. Not a single person was trusting God, believing that He could lead them into the promised land. Note that they raised their voices and wept aloud. We are imagining the worst sort of rage, a picture of screaming, ranting, throwing, cursing, anger, and intoxication of grief.
Can you imagine what's going on here? You really got to see this. Somebody has come back to give you a report. And on this report, they said, there's no way in the world we can do anything with these people. There's just no way in the world. You have been what? Traveling. Remember, you have been traveling because your hopes were that you were going to get the promised land. It's been promised to you to get the promised land, right? What does that say? Stop and think about it, guys. What does that say? If you really stop and think about it. When you depend on
Self.
oh, this is deeper than self. When you depend on
Man.
hello, Jock, you there? He'll let you down. When you depend on man. Because watch this. Who made the promise for them to go to the promised land?
Lord.
Isn't that something? God told them that they would enter into the promised land. It came through the human vessel of Moses. A lot of times we miss this. Just the opposite so you can hear it. A lot of times you make a statement or you say, hey, Brother Thompson, I will see you next Sunday. You don't realize that I'm only the vessel. That's all I am is the vessel. So you didn't make the statement to me. Stop and think about it. Your statement was built around some emotion that caused you to say, and I'll be there next week. So something you heard said, oh, I got to get back down there. I got to hear this. So listen, now if that man is hung up on the man, then he gives himself, that's yourself, the glory. He gives himself the glory. Look what I've done. But if that man is the man of God, then he brings it to their attention. I want you to understand, it is through the glory of God that you receive this message. He's removed himself So really, don't thank me, thank God for the message. But Brother Thompson, but you gave the message. But me giving you everything was what? When you give something that's already there. You said it today. You said it today. You don't do something. Lenny's famous words too. You can't do something when somebody else wrote it.
Plagiarize.
Hello? So then watch this. If that be the case, then in this case, I made the statement to you all. This is the time you can plagiarize. This is the time you better be plagiarizing. Okay? So, watch this. So that if you're plagiarizing, then why are you receiving the glory? Help me, Calvert. If you're plagiarizing, then why are you receiving the glory? The glory doesn't go to you. The glory goes to God. The glory goes to God. Because all you're doing is repeating what God said. So the glory goes to God. But in this case, what they've done is they've made a major mistake. But it's not that, watch this, it's not that bad because you know what? People are people. People always make decisions when they're following people. Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, people do have the ability to impose their stuff on you if you let them.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Especially if you're looking to them.
Yes. I agree. How many times do you see or have you been where you hear them saying, what I got to do is work on increasing the flock. How you going to increase the flock? Well, what I'm going to do is this, and this to increase the flock. What's missing with that picture? What's missing with that picture? If you're plagiarizing already, what's wrong with that picture? Why did you stop plagiarizing? Why didn't you stay where you were? Because if you had did it right, then you say, if it's God's will.
Amen.
Then you say, God adds to the church. Then you would say that. But if it's about you, then you're right. You're going to do everything you can to grow a church. And then you can't figure out why she won't grow. Because you're doing everything you can to something you don't own. Did you hear me? Something you don't own. You don't own the church. Well, we want to think like that. But for the most part, you don't own it. So who are you to say how it's supposed to grow? Yes.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think what happens is we become unconsciously too casual when we're called to be spiritual.
Okay, that's right.
And so we get caught up and being so casual, we don't realize how earthly we become. And we constantly keep it on us when it's not about us. The reason I got up this morning was only because of the Holy Spirit.
That's it.
Because of the work of God.
That's it. I was having a class today and with Bina, and I would hear her, and I says, I don't want no logic. I want absolutely no logic to this. You either give me the word or silence it. But give me the word. Why? Because you got to get out. You need to be removed out of this. This needs to be understood. That's why I said to you. That's why I said plagiarizing. That's what you said. Plagiarizing. That's exactly what it is. Has to be that with God's word. There's no other way. So then watch this. He goes on pulling your Bible. He says what? Verse 2 down there. Somebody.
And all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, if only we had died in the land of Egypt.
Watch this. What's going on, guys? I told you, look at it. They're crying, right? Then they're focused on to number 2 says what?
And all the children of Israel complained against Moses.
And was it Moses and
Aaron.
So, what's wrong with this picture?
You know, I'm going to say this might not maybe out of context, but sometimes people act on the emotions of others.
That's true. No, that's true. You're right. Because you got a congregation over here crying now. Everybody's over here weeping. By the way, they ain't saying beautiful things to Moses right about right now. Okay? You talking about some language you don't want to hear? You gonna hear it. This is when you're hearing this language that you don't want to hear. It's out now. All of this language has come up. They making some new language while they're at it now. But what's the problem here? Look who you centered in on. You centered in on what? The spokespeople. You centered in on Moses and Aaron. But yet at the same time, every time something had to be said, did you not say, no, Moses, you go up that mountain? Did you not say that? Remember? You didn't want to go nowhere near that mountain when that mountain was quaking. So you sent Moses. It's amazing how and everything that has taken place, it was Moses. Remember, when Moses went into the mountains, remember when he received the 10 Commandments, right? Remember when you get that? Remember when he's coming down? Remember before he could come down, what did the Lord say? Before he could come down, remember what did the Lord say?
Stand aside.
What did he say?
Stand aside.
He said, stand aside. He's going to do what?
Take them all out.
I'm going to wipe them all out. Wait a minute, but that's not how you view this. So what did you see? What you saw was when Moses comes down and addresses you with the wrong you've done, remember he drops the 10. He drops those. So when he addresses you, he speaks as one with authority. But in speaking as one with authority, where do you get the authority from? If he really wanted to talk, he could have said, I just saved everybody's life. God is beyond upset with what he sees here. As a matter of fact, then what you're going to do is that all of your idols, throw them in a pot. And what you're going to do is drink it. Remember? You're going to drink it. Remember? So he spoke as one with what? With authority. He spoke as one with authority. Well, now you've got an issue here because has Moses always been speaking as one with authority? Has it?
No.
No.
Oh, yes, he has. But, no. You can't have them both, Brother Thompson. Yes, you can. Because, yes, he did speak with authority. But where did he get his authority from? And he's made it known that he received it from God. Moses always made it known that this is what the Lord has said. Remember when he went to deal with Pharaoh? Remember? And that's what's going to get him in trouble because he forgets to say, this is what the Lord says, and boom. Remember that? Remember, that's coming up. Remember he's going to do what? He's going to do what? He's going to strike the rock. Instead of doing what? Speaking to, remember? So all of a sudden he forgets because he's so angry. He forgets, but he could have easily said, this is what the Lord's going to give you. That would have been enough and water would have poured out. But because his anger, because of what he's seen, that's what I said, when it comes to God's word, when we come, we're Christ-like, we're Christians. When we understand this, you stop depending upon your emotions to take you through life. And it's to be replaced with God's knowledge is what it's to be replaced with. Once it's replaced with God's knowledge, then you'll have the patience. You can be angry. Then you'll have the wisdom on how to handle a situation. Because you have removed you. You're out of the picture. So when decisions have to be made, these decisions are not built around your emotions. These decisions are built around the Word of God that you've heard, that you've seen, that you've studied. This is what you've been built around. So then what? So now, if this is the case, this is what they removed. They removed that from Moses. And so now what they want to do is kill Moses and Aaron. They removed that. They don't see God anymore. All they see is, what you say? And that's it, right. That's all they see. And watch this. And can we go get God? No. So somebody's got to go down. And so who is it then? You have been the spokesperson for us. So then apparently what you've done then is lied to us.
Yep.
Since you've lied to us, you didn't took us all the way out here, and you never was talking to no God. You never was. Fella, watch this. Yet at the same time, God presented himself several times to them to let him know it was him. But when you lose hope, then you can talk to God any kind of way. When you lose hope. Now watch this. I said you can talk to God any kind of way, right? Wrong, but right. What do you mean? Well, watch this. Because you can talk to God any kind of way, because watch this. You're not talking to God, you're now talking to Moses and Aaron. All you see is them. You don't see God anymore, you see them. You know what you just did? You put God in your back pocket. You've made God look where now you can be angry. You finna say some stuff you ain't got no business saying. You never make these statements. Job was a good example. When his wife said to him, why don't you do what? Curse your God. I remember when he made that statement. And what was Job? Job should have said, and you are right. Look at here, he didn't kill all our kids. Look at here, he didn't, all our cattle's gone. Look at this. Watch this. Off of emotions, you would agree. You would agree with what the wife has said. Off of emotions. And this what they going off of? Emotions. But Job was beyond. Job was always a praying man. He was so, God had called him and said he was blameless. So with Job being a praying man, Job replaced his emotions with his knowledge of who God was. Woman, you talk like a... Didn't he say it? Didn't he say it? God give it, and God take away. So why are you getting upset? He gave you think we got this? And that's where our problem is. We think we got, I worked hard. I worked hard all my life. All my life I've been working hard. I can't believe it. I see it a lot of times when you see somebody in a storm, you know, earthquake or tornado or something. I worked hard and all of this is gone. Don't you understand? God gave that to you. And God took that from you. Wait a minute, I don't understand because I worked hard. How'd you get up? How'd you work? God gave you this energy. God gave you this. Well then, you're trying to say that I disrespected God? No, I ain't trying to say anything. Because God could have been testing you in such a tremendous, such a horrendous situation. But it could have been the biggest test in your life. Do I pass it or do I flunk it? I don't know about you all, but if you look at Job, isn't that the biggest test in his life? Something to think about it. And he could have easily flunked it and said what he had to say. And he could have been dragged, he could have been dragged right out too, just like his wife was buried. He could have been the same thing. But Job, watch his wisdom replaces. It's the ideal of a murder. It's the ideal of someone that comes in and there's something that takes place. And you watch this, and you either respond positive or negative. I'll never forget it. There was a robbery at the bank. There was a robbery at the bank. The guy actually came to me, small in stature. What do I think? Small in stature. What do I think? I'm taking. You see what I'm saying? But easily, I'm looking. I can see the silver piece, the handle in his pants. I said, 2 seconds, I can have that and take that. Watch this. That would be emotions that would be running. What if you miss? I mean, what if by the time you jump, he moves? Now what do you got? He's got a gun out. He's scared to death. What do you think he's going to do?
He gonna shoot up some people.
Going to shoot up, not just me.
He gonna shoot up some people.
He's shooting up everything because he's scared to death now. Because who else is bold enough to do this? So now you got all kinds of people shot up. When all you had to do was, it ain't yours no way. Use wisdom. This is what he came for. He didn't come to hurt you. He didn't even know you. So he didn't come to hurt you. All he came to do was get what he wanted. And if you're wise enough, let him have what he wants and let him walk. You hear me? And once again, do I allow emotions to run or to rule, or do I allow knowledge to rule? Because we were trained on how to handle a robbery. You know what I'm saying? So what kicks in? This is where we're at. We're trained on how to handle situations. These men that were leaders of these tribes were trained. Everything that's going on, you just don't cause you look strong, let me take you out there. No, these men were proven. They were proven. That's why, since they were proven that they were great leaders, that's why you got a congregation crying. That's why you got a congregation upset. Because these are proven men that have disappointed not only the congregation, but they've also disappointed themselves. You got a big problem. Watch this. Get back into your text. We got a problem now in the house. He says what? 3.
Why is the Lord bringing us into this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and our little ones will become plunder. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt?
Who's talking?
The congregation.
So, you hear me? Somebody though, John, can stir this mess up. Did you hear me? You hear what I'm saying, John? Somebody stirred this up. This ain't just one person talking, by the way. So this is someone that has stirred the congregation up to words. This is the statement. This is the thought that's been delivered. Watch this. Go on for it. He says what?
So they said to one another, let us appoint a leader and return to Egypt.
There's my problem. Did you see it? There's my problem. Watch this. The positive and the negative. Don't you have a leader? Don't you have a leader?
Not after they kill him.
Watch this. Watch this. So watch this. So you do have 2 leaders. Amen? You do have a leader. Watch this. If these leaders have taken you this far, what you need another leader for? Ain't it the leaders, these leaders that's gotten you in this
They're in
mess?
hysteria right now, so.
But you see what I'm saying? Ain't it the leaders that have gotten you in this mess? So why you need a leader? Every man for himself. If I was to think, if I was there, I'd say, man, I'm a leader. We don't need no leader. This is what caused us. We had 2 men leading us. We don't demand every man for himself. We rolling back, let's roll. Let's go back if we're going back. If we're not, then let's shut up. Let's move on. Well, then that makes you a leader. That don't make me no leader. You want to roll with me, come on. But if you don't, I ain't your leader, so don't put this mess on me. I'm in the midst of seeing what will happen to leaders. They get killed. So why I want to be a leader, if this is what y'all fussing about in the first place, now you want to take these leaders out. You want to take that which at one time you thought highly of them. At one time you were scared to death. At one time you wouldn't even talk to God. At one time when God wouldn't walk with you anymore, that one that you asked to lead them was the one that communicated with God. And he was the one that God allowed as the mediator so that cloud and that fire would walk over you again. Because God had already said, remember after the drinking of the gold, remember? Remember that? Remember after they drank the gold? Remember, God says, I will not walk with these people anymore. I won't go with them anymore. Remember, it was Moses that pleaded that God walk with him. Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, just like today, you have people that are appointed,
Yes.
but they're not always proven.
Okay, okay.
Like Moses was proven because of the things that he did.
Right, right.
And yet these people were appointed and yet they didn't deliver. That's what I'm saying. They didn't deliver. Because even though you chose what you believe, and yet all it takes is a little bit of negativity.
That's it.
To create massive.
Based upon where you are,
That's
though.
it.
See, based upon where you are. And people can be so selfish and impose their stuff on other people, not knowing this congregation is considered to be a mess. And usually when you're a mess, stuff starts to happen.
I want you to see something, guys.
Apparently they didn't know their way to Canaan or to Egypt.
Well, come on. That's right. You're right, Jack. So even if you turn around and go back,
They get lost.
you don't know which way to go.
They walk in circles, they
So watch this. Remember something happened. I was going to take you back. But remember something happened. Was it in 12 that something happened? Where he assigned the man. Was it, or is it 12 or was it, was it 12 or was it,
It was 11.
it sure was 11.
11:16.
That's it.
So the Lord said to Moses, gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be elders of the people, of the officers over them. Bring them to the tabernacle of the meeting, that they may stand there with you.
What problems we got, guys? The Lord said, then send out, go back at your 13. Remember the Lord said, see it? You got it? Read.
Are you talking about when he chose the Okay, so Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran at the command of the Lord, all of the men who were the heads of the sons of Israel.
What was you fussing about? What were you fussing about at first? I took you to 11. What Moses fussing? Too much on him, right?
Yeah.
Moses said,
You need help.
I need help.
Yeah.
God said,
Okay.
got you 70. Right? God gets you 70.
Yeah.
Right? Now, out of the 70, you're still going to do what? Reduce it.
Yeah.
You're going to reduce it to what? 12. When you reduce it to 12, wait a minute, this is what you wanted. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. When all you really needed to send out was who? And who?
Joshua.
Why? That's the question.
The Spirit of the Lord was with
Well, the Spirit of the Lord is on them, but what were they to that group?
leaders.
They were type leaders though. Because these are military men. Don't you ever remove that. Okay. Caleb and Joshua were military men. They led your army. If anybody's got some knowledge, if anybody's got some wisdom, if anybody can show you how we can circle in and take them all out, those would be your two leaders. But you got men that aren't warriors, that haven't went through what's going through. These men have military minds, strategic minds. You hear what I'm saying? Strategic minds. Watch me, because I want you to see something. They've got strategic minds. So, watch this. Then we get back to read my paper, sheet where it says the facts, the people.
The people, in fact, suggested that a new leader be chosen who would lead them back to Egypt. We know that We know from Nehemiah that the people actually chose a leader to stand opposed to Moses.
If you ever go back and look at it, it's there. They sure did. So watch this, go on.
This shows that a riot was taking place. The people had made their decision. They wanted nothing else to do with Moses or God. They were in total rebellion against God and their appointed leader.
Can you picture this? Now can you picture this chaos? Now can you picture, if anybody, who needs to be hiding about now?
Moses and Aaron.
You hear what I'm saying? Can you imagine This is 4 to 6 million people coming after them. They are all, watch this, somebody spread a rumor and it took off. And now it's, well, we need to key in on whoever it is that's caused this. And someone said, well, you know, it was Moses that led us. Moses and his brother. They're the ones that led us. So look at this mess. Now you got a mess, you got a riot, you got, can you imagine the profanity? Can you imagine how the people must have been carrying on with this? And then somebody shouts out, all we need is a new leader. What we need is a new leader. Can you imagine? You didn't say who the leader was. And I don't see in this text, nor in Nehemiah, who they called the next leader. I don't see where they called him. And you know they ain't going to call, we know Joshua when Moses died, that Joshua took. But they didn't call Joshua no leader, because Joshua was also what? A part of Moses. They didn't call Caleb no leader, because Caleb would be also a part of Moses. So what did you do? You looked amongst your own group of people. Can you imagine? Godless man trying to lead, a godless man trying to lead godly people. What do you think? I said this when I came here to this church. I said there's no way in the world of people that don't walk by faith have leadership. They should not have a leadership role. When Bible study means nothing to you, when worship means nothing, you ain't got no business being in leadership. You really don't. Just like we were talking about when it comes down to making decisions. You don't need every brother in the room to be making, because you got some brothers that aren't faithful making faithful decisions. You can't do that. You don't do that. You shut that mess down. Well, you know, that ain't going to be but 4 or 5 brothers in the first place that you. But you know what? But if they're the faithful, God made it clear as a bell. There was a church in Acts the 6th chapter that was going on. Remember that? Acts the 6th chapter. Remember the Grecian women were fussing because they weren't getting the food. Remember Acts the 6th chapter? They weren't being fed. They weren't getting the food. The food was being passed over. They wasn't getting nothing. And then what did the apostles make the statement about? Remember what the apostle says? We will not wait on tables. That's not our role, to wait on tables. Watch this. The apostle says we understand what our role is. Our role is to preach and teach the word. And this other stuff, we ain't got no business sticking our nose in. I told you, when you replace knowledge with fear, with emotions, when you get that emotion out of the way, somebody said, now that was very hard, that was very cold for the apostles to make that statement. But the apostles made the statement. Then they turned around and said to the people, select from amongst you. Remember that? Select from amongst you what? 7 brothers. Select from amongst you. Wait a minute, but you the leader. Select from amongst you. Don't you dare put us involved in this. Select from amongst you. What are you going to take? He says, what kind of brothers? Go to Acts the 6th chapter. Let's go there. I want you to see what's going on with Acts the 6th chapter. Stop. Let's start out with. Really, I guess 1. You know, I guess 1. I can see how you're going to do it. Go ahead, go 1. Jack, quick, read.
Now at this time, while the disciples were increasing in number, a complaint arose on the part of the Hellenistic Jews against the native Hebrews, because their widows were being overlooked in the daily serving of food.
Come on.
So the 12 summoned the congregation of the disciples and said, it is not desirable for us to neglect the word of God in order to serve tables.
Come on.
Therefore, brethren, select from among you 7 men of good reputation.
That's what I want you to see. It wasn't just faithful. They brothers of what?
Good reputation.
Watch this. Known to do good. Hear me. They have proven that they will do good. They have proven that they will be fair. They have proven that they will be right. Keep going. Watch this.
full of the Spirit
And watch this.
and of wisdom.
Watch this. Did you already say it? And they full of what?
The Spirit.
Full of the Holy Spirit. That Holy Spirit is just enriched in them. So then with that Spirit, they can do what? Full of Spirit and what?
And wisdom.
And wisdom is what? And wisdom is what?
God-given discernment.
Well, it's watch this. It is to do what? It's something what? Apply. It's now you get them, they will apply that, watch this, because who's leading them?
The Spirit.
Right, because they full of it. If something's full, you can't add no more to it. Am I right? If it's full, you can't add any more to it. So these men were then full of the Holy Spirit. And can't watch this. That means Satan can't come in on this. They are full. Their realm is full. So Satan can't come in on it because they're full of it. Then therefore they can now apply. Now they can apply. So watch this. How do you apply this? Well, because they have a good reputation. Everybody in the church knows they're good people. Hear me? Everyone in the church knows they're good people. So if they're good people, then something comes in when I know that you're good people, and you got to make a decision. It's called T. R. U. Trust. It's called trust. Trust falls in. When I know that you're good people, trust comes in with this. Now I'm okay because the trust factor is here. Hear me? So watch this. If this is the case, then let's get back over to our back to our Bibles. So we got a trust factor that has been removed because they didn't remove it. Moses and Aaron didn't remove it. So how in the world did this get removed? Because of the dividing of the 70 and reducing it down to little by little. So wait a minute. What did God do? What did somebody else that stirred up a problem in that 11th chapter? What did somebody else that stirred up? Come on. What did Miriam do? What did he do? He went after Miriam, didn't he? He went after Miriam first before he gave them the 70. Remember that? He went after Miriam. God went after Miriam. So watch this. So the rest of them, whoa, we got by everything. It's okay. Guys, he ain't through with this. Punishment ain't through with this. There's some more punishment that's got to go on. Guess what you wanted? So guess what? Now you got it. So I'm telling you then, now what you got to do is remember, you was just too much work for you, Moses. So now what you're going to do is select. In this selection, all of a sudden you find out this is hell. I've been better off just what? The two of us and working with my two military strategic men is what I've been better off with. Everything would have been okay because they could have come back with a report because those two were full of the Spirit. They were both full of it. Those two, Caleb and Joshua. These other 10, look at the garbage. You can't tell me that was the God in them that came back with this horrible report. You have a hand up? But you hear me? You can't tell me this. This horrible report has cost them hell. It's a horrible situation. So then watch this. He says, back over to your Bible, 14. Back over to your Bible. Now we're going to deal with it. 6 says what? Read it, if you got it. 6.
And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land.
So guys, pop back. Get it again. 6 says what?
And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes.
Stop. Did you see it? I don't even think you need to pull your papers. Did you see it? What were the other people doing?
Complaining.
complaining, which is wanting to attack, right? Wanting to go out there. We got to get a new leader, the whole bit, right? What were Joshua and Caleb doing? Shh. What were they doing? Why?
Tired of it. Tired of complaining.
Why?
People were,
When you ripped your clothes, what did you rip your clothes for? Sackcloth and ashes.
Sorry.
Mourning.
Yeah.
They're in mourning. They can't believe this mess has come out.
Same thing they do when somebody dies.
Isn't that something? I like that, Josh, but that's right. Stop and think about it. So look what we got here. Joshua and Caleb said, yeah, somebody, you have killed somebody. I'm so glad you said it because it's there. Because you have killed somebody. Who did they kill? Someone has died. Who's died?
They killed God.
Hello! That's it. Because God has died. You've got to be out your mind because God has died. You don't get it. You're looking at Moses and Aaron. And so you want vengeance. I can't believe you don't understand. This is not the works of Moses and Aaron. This is the works of God. You have just buried God. You see how deep this thing gets? You see how, watch this. And watch this, it ain't done because you got this side of the fence now. Two military, these are military men. These are God-fearing men. These are strategic-minded men. Watch this. They ripped their clothes. Then who was reading? Then he said what?
And they spake unto the company of the children of Israel, saying, the land which we passed through to search it is an exceeding good land. If the Lord delight...
Do we have a problem with that? So far, do we have a problem with that?
No.
Didn't they carry something back with them? Right? So the land is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's good. They carried them grapes back with them, right? So the land, that's in your 12. I mean in your 13. So the land is good, right?
Yes.
Now finish it. It says what?
If the Lord delight in us, he will bring us into this land and give it us.
You didn't catch it. Read it again.
If the Lord delight in us.
You got it. You got it. It's the if. See the if? Watch this. Did not the Lord delight in us? Didn't he say we would receive the promised land? A land full of milk and honey. Didn't he say they would receive that? Think about it. Now you got a what in front of you? An if. Isn't that something? What are you doing? Joshua or Caleb is acknowledging, look, do you know what you're doing? Now, if the Lord, you just put an if where there shouldn't have been an if. It should have always been God has delighted in us. He's proven it over and over that he delights in us. What do you think God's going to do to the church? Come on now. Is he putting an if in front of the church too now? Have a think about it. Is he putting an if in front of the church? We know he says the gates of hell shall not destroy. But he's got an if. Why? If we, it says, if you love me, you will keep my commandments. That's what he said. Why you saying if, Lord? Because your behavior is an if. Yes.
and we know that he will punish those to the third and fourth generation for those who hate him.
And he's going to get there on this. It's in here. It's going, like you said, it's going to get here. But you need to understand, So let me talk to you all about that, because it is this third and fourth generation. We have a tendency of thinking, well, watch this, they didn't do nothing wrong. The third and fourth generation didn't do nothing wrong.
To those who hate.
No, we don't talk about it because you're there. The third and fourth generation, I just think we don't understand what it means by the third or fourth generation. You act just like your mama. You act just like your daddy. You heard that one? You act just like your mom, you act just like your daddy. He wasn't worth a quarter.
Tree don't, the apple don't fall.
Huh?
Tree, the apple doesn't fall.
That's another one, right? You see what I'm saying? That's where that generation comes in. You act just like them. They taught you well.
Step off the old block.
You're all adults. They taught you that's your third and fourth generation. You learned this mess from folks of that generation, and now you're carrying this mess, the third and fourth generation. The old pot in the pan. Why are you cutting it? The old pot in the pan. Remember the roast? Why do you cut the roast? Why do you cut off both ends of the roast? The lady says, women, she says, well, honey, you know what? Let's find out. I really don't know. So let's finally go to Grandma and ask Grandma why she cuts both ends of the half of the roast off. So they go to Grandma. Grandma said, baby, only reason why I cut that end and that end off because she said, because my pan wasn't big. Do you hear me? Because my pot was too small. So all this time you've been cutting off all of this meat because you didn't understand. All of this time you've been carrying on because you don't understand. Israel, you don't understand the works of God. That makes you then what? Ignorant.
Don't act as if nothing has changed. You're not where you used to be.
So you know what? Then that don't make you ignorant no more.
Exactly.
Nothing makes you stupid. You hear me? Now that makes you stupid. That don't make you ignorant no more because you have seen the works of God.
Yeah.
That's stupid now. That's stubbornness. That's rebellion. Now you got an act of stupidity, an act of stubbornness, an act of rebellion, and you're going to pay for that. That's why he says, if. Did you not see what God did every time those Egyptians went against him? Did you not see that? Why would you think if he shows no partiality, why would you think that that can't happen to us? Stop and think about it. Why wouldn't you think, why would you not think? Well, because we're special people. Special would mean he's looking at you more. Stop and think about it. Special would mean he's got his attention more on you. Because he's looking at you more since you're special. That means he sees what he may not have seen out of others. From a human being standpoint. Made a statement to you today. I says the ideal of a coach. And he's, Ron, why come you can't do this? Oh, I can't believe you can't do this. Give me the ball. Let me show you how to do this. And you're like, why are you all on me? Why are you all in my grill? Why are you beating me up? Because you're special. He sees potential. He knows you have it. That's why he's beating you down, because he knows you can do it. He's centered in on you. Because he said, you don't realize it, you're the nucleus that will make this thing run if you would just do what I tell you to do. You hear me? I don't know about you all, but I got cussed out a lot. Did you hear me? Okay, stop and think about it. I don't understand it because he sees potential. The potential is there. That's why he rides you so hard. Well, God sees potential in us too. That's why you keep taking tests over and over and over again. Because you refuse to allow God to mold you, to shape you, to do, because his will is going to be done. So why not just stop and allow him to mold you and shape you and do what he wants you to do? Israel, you made a mistake. You made made a mistake because Joshua said something, and that was that if. Joshua said, if says what? If what?
If the Lord delights in us.
If the Lord delights in us. So what are you saying? Where's the delight? Do you think the Lord really delights in us? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you really think the Lord delights? That's what he's saying. Do you really think the Lord is pleased with what we're doing here? Stop. Think about it. Gather yourselves together. Guys, we got to come together as one. This is the only way we've been together. We don't know which way to go back to Egypt, right? And we don't know how to get to the promised land, right? So that would be real stupid to kill the leaders. Yes.
I was just going to say, when you lose your focus.
That's it.
And they brought it right back where it needed to be.
You got it. You got it. Isn't that something? Make you think. You really need to think. You've lost it. And you really need to think about what you're doing here. Before God disappears from us. Watch this. He says what? He says what? Who's 8 says what? I mean, 9 says what?
Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land, for they are bread for us. Their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us. Fear them not.
Yes, so then Caleb is sending out a powerful message, right? So watch this. Is this a plagiarized message? Is this a plagiarized message? Yes, sure is. All Caleb is doing is bringing to their attention the God that you serve said that you would do what? Enter into the promised land. That's plagiarized. That's what he's giving them. He's trying to bring to their attention. This is what God said. You won't listen to Moses, so listen to me. You know what? You know what I am. You've seen me as a military strategic leader. You've seen me. Listen to me. God has made them like bread. They ain't nothing. You hooping and hollering. Where all this fear come from, you need to silence it. There's nothing to be afraid of because apparently you must have forgotten who you serve. You serve a living God. You serve a God who has extreme, watch this, he's omnipotent. You serve a God all powerful. That's what you serve. It's been proven over and over. You want to remind them? Do you want to preach to them, like Caleb? Yes, I want to preach to them right now because they're not getting it. The problem is you got what in the audience? 10 troublemakers. Isn't that sad?
Call them haters.
That's it. And watch this. As you're saying things, they're whispering things.
Yeah.
Ever been around that mess?
And stir in the pot.
Keep it going. Also, now what he got to say? You don't have to say don't listen. What he got to say? Lord, here we go again. He gonna tell us some old. He gonna blow some old steam in our ears. Here we go again. Come on, let's just hear. Come on, guys, let's just give him a chance to see what he has to say. It's very sarcastic how you're delivering this. So let's just hear what he got to say. You don't really want to hear him no way, but we'll just listen to him anyway. And hear what he's got to say, because what he's got to say means absolutely nothing to him. I told you, when you lose sight,
That's it.
when you start walking by faith, you in trouble. You start to lean on you for all the solutions. You got some major problems on your hands. We've got to stop, but that's where he's going with this. I told you, we're headed to total destruction. And we don't even see it. And they don't even see it. And Caleb is trying his best to slow down the destruction, to get them to understand, sure, we need to turn around. Some of, like this, all 10 of y'all need to get up front and repent. All 10 of you need to get up and repent and reassure the crowd that we're going to be okay. They ain't coming. Because when it's all about self and all you see is self. Self says, woo, they big, they humongous. yourself says that. Didn't someone else think like that and God had to get him to come up? Same with John. You were going to be out in the what? And what was his speech? I'm the last of the apostles. All this we have accomplished, it means nothing. They've killed all the apostles. I'm the only one left. God says, my servant, the one that leaned on my bosom, is losing sight. I told you when you lose sight, you got problems. He's losing sight. So God says in your Revelations, come up. I want you to come up. Paul, and what does he say? John says, whether I was in the body or out of the body.
I do not know.
I do not know. But I was in the presence of the Lord. And God said to him, now that you up, look down. Now look down. What are you talking about? You know that great Roman nation that you were afraid of? Oh my goodness, everybody moved and all I did was sneeze. Everybody moved and all I did was sneeze. I even covered my hand when I sneezed and everybody moved. This is who you're supposed to be afraid of? You are afraid of what? Watch this. All I have to say is that. Do you understand who you serve, John? The Almighty God. They tell me when God will let him come back into his body, they tell me he wrote the book of Revelation. Did you hear me? They tell me he wrote the book of Revelation. Stop and think about it, because there is no fear factor. I got to see it all. You got to see it all. You got to see the beginning. You got to see the middle parts, and you got to see the end. You got to see all of this. But watch this. But God told him some things you can't talk about. You can't tell him. They say in Revelation 7 that John, he said, and John says, and then I saw the 144,000. Then it dropped down around 8 or 9. He says, and then I saw a number no man can count. Lord have mercy. Do you hear me? That no man can count. John, you saw all this. So John, well, we would say, did you see me? Did you see me, John? That's what I want to know. Did you see me? I can't tell you that. I'm not at liberty to tell you who I saw. But I did see a number. I saw a whole lot of people praising God. I've always said, if you can't praise him down here, don't worry about it.
That's right.
You won't praise him there. Don't worry about it. If church, an hour church is too long for you, then eternity to praise him will be way too long for you. Don't waste your time. Don't come. Leave it alone. Why? Because you can go to hell and time will fly past on that. Because you're in too much pain, too much torment. You ain't got time to think about the time because you're in too much pain. Stop and think about which life do you want. My time has expired, but this is some serious stuff where these people are heading is in no man's land, and it's going to cost them. Are there any statements that need to be made?